Why aren't you confident that we'll ever get costs under control?
I think it's because the track we're on can never get costs down. We've really failed completely in the policies we've had up to now to actually bend the cost curve down. What's actually going on now is really two things. One is we're looking for some ways to pay extra costs rather than reduce costs. And I think we're also engaging in sort of bogus approaches. We have things like the doc fix that says we'll just pretend that we can really cut the physician salaries by now 27% this year. It's not going to happen. And everybody in Washington knows it's not going to happen. So we really are on a trajectory where, quite frankly, in private, everybody knows that costs are not going to be brought down. And that's why we have to go in a very different direction.
What would that be, that direction, if it were up to you?
I think you've really only got two basic choices. One is to try to clamp down on prices and payments and so on. That's what we're doing with the IPAP board and Medicare. The history of that has always shown that it's very unsuccessful. The alternative approach is essentially to say, let's provide a contribution to people. Let's provide a certain amount of money to people, whether they're in Medicare or in the form of tax relief if they're in the private sector and the working age population. And let's allow people then to look for the best value for money themselves between the alternatives. That approach, not only does it mean that the individual is really on the cutting edge of looking hard at value for money, like they do in all the rest of our economy, but it also means that you stimulate a lot of creativity by providers who have to compete to satisfy those individual consumers. I think that strategically, that is the only way that we're likely to get costs under control. And as Churchill once said, it's probably the worst approach except for all the others.